This is that proposal, fleshed out from I, Mark Stewart, candidate for office. It proposes a Connecticut taxpayer opt-out from large portions of federal taxation. Now, most federal taxation supports unconstitutional purposes. The proposal that we have is legal, it is moral, and it's simple. Literally, every unconstitutional program that a federal taxpayer pledges not to take part in can and should be optional. This is the way to put federal spending on a sounder footing and save a colossal amount for our state's taxpayers. Each election, at least some governor candidates discuss reducing the state income tax. 2 cycles in a row, Republican Bob Stefanowski proposed 8% state income tax reduction. 8%! Big whoop. The whole state income tax is at most 7%. So 8% off of that 7% is less than 1%. Look, even an 18% state tax reduction from Connecticut's 7%, it's leaving payers about a 1% overall deduction. By contrast, a federal opt-out gives 55% to 85% reduction in our federal income taxes. And it doesn't diminish state services. Not at all. Today's November 3rd. For 33 days, we have experienced a government shutdown with minimal federal services, and few have even noticed. Have you? But even federal services that might be impactful, every one of them can be funded privately. Better if done privately, and best if funded only by those who are willing and not by those who are compelled. There are 2 areas, only 2 areas, where federal taxation supports constitutional areas. That's the military and that's federal justice. The military plus federal justice comprise about 20% of the current federal budget. Okay? So if you added veterans benefits, we'd be up to about 25%. If you added interest on our colossal debt, you might be getting up to 45%. But still, a taxpayer who opts out of everything that's non-constitutional is saving at least 55% on taxes. What about the government services that are unconstitutional that some of us like? They want their federal flood insurance. They believe in subsidizing mining. They want to use our ports. They want the comfort of Obamacare. Fine. They can pay for any and all of those as a non-constitutional government service. Their federal taxes will fall somewhat, and they'll be in control of what, in their own personal view, is worthy spending. That's the right way to do it. Now, I'm not ripping off the federal government. I'm simply shifting the federal government to a fee-for-service model. It gets extra money from Connecticut when it provides what Connecticut citizens want. Simple. Most progressives will want something from the feds. Usually it's a lot. A good number of independents do. But they don't want everything. And so they too will see their taxes reduced. Even staunch statists will see taxes somewhat reduced, and that's because those in Connecticut won't be paying for things that are divisible and only going outside the state. They won't be paying for high altitude weather stations. They won't be paying for particle accelerator grants. They won't be paying mining subsidies. Those are all Western things. Now, that may not amount to too much, but it's currently an unfair taking, and even progressives like keeping a little more money for themselves. Back to value for the feds. There's a value for every Connecticut resident that is removed from every divisible government service. So if 500,000 of us say, don't take advantage of a federal business development program, a HUD program, or a university grant, the federal government can spend proportionately less. Connecticut is small. It's a mere 1% of America's population. So our withholding even 100% of Connecticut taxpayers wouldn't affect the Treasury that much. But Connecticut could be a model, and maybe other larger states follow, with many millions more taxpayers opting out. Now, is that a benefit to the federal government? It's a colossal benefit, because for every $10,000 that the feds take in, they spend $12,500. Every $10,000 less from a citizen who, say, opts out means the federal government is saving $2,500. If 100 million Americans do this, the federal budget is saved $250 billion annually. Now, I don't especially care about saving the federal government money. I care about, one, diminishing its power over us. I care about saving money for individuals. And I care about ending federal intrusiveness into our affairs. I want to be left alone. The opt-out allows all three. We have in Trump and Vance the only leaders in at least a century who would be willing to do this. Okay, Biden, Obama, the Bushes, even Reagan, I don't think would have cared to reduce federal power. Trump and Vance sincerely do, and Connecticut should take advantage. Here's the easy start, okay? Easy. Allow the Social Security and Medicare opt-out for every young American. Take them off the books if they want to be, okay? Trump and Vance can proudly tout that as a savings. Now, few under 45 expect Social Security and Medicare to pay them fully when they reach 65 anyways. They're the biggest winners of an opt-out. For those who are close to 65 and those already retired, an opt-out might be even more significant. You allow the retiree an actuarially measured payout based on expected benefits due to them for the rest of their lives. Now, almost everyone would take a haircut. They won't get the full as a lump sum, but they'll have cash in hand for something. The financially comfortable 75-year-old, okay, the retiree who doesn't need her monthly check, she might be giddy to receive a $75,000 lump sum. 75 for 75. It's for many a win-win. Buy a small boat. Take a dream vacation with all your grandkids. Build an ADU that lets you spend more time close to your kids. The largest savings from withholding, and the easiest to quantify, is that from opting out of Social Security. Actually, what may be larger is Medicare. Now, they're harder to quantify because it requires a look in to somebody's recent health. Their whole health history might be in play. So the payout there could be truly huge, though, because let's say somebody is ailing and age 75. Well, they cost Medicare between $50,000 and $500,000 a year. Okay, still, there might be a bargaining point where the 75-year-old and older says, I'll take care of myself. I would like that opt-out lump sum. And this is what America largely was for its first 150 years. We take care of ourselves. We look to government for the big, necessary, and constitutional things it's allowed to do. We can get back the prosperity of the first 150 years. It was uninterrupted. We can get back much of the self-reliance. And for those who still like relying on government for many things, they, with their voluntary contributions to insurance programs, they're covered as well. Let's begin right here.